Hey, super teachers, welcome back to the channel. It's Dr. O, your favorite virtual coach. And today I'm here to talk with you about proctoring. I want to talk to you about proctoring because sometimes we see this as a waste of time. We're sitting, watching over students, making sure nobody's looking at anybody else's computer, used to be paper, and wondering what else are we supposed to be doing with our time and our lives. Well, I've got some suggestions for you. But before we jump right in, I do want you to take a moment to just check in with yourself. How are you doing? I do like to do a check-in with every video and every interaction because teaching is hard. And so I don't want to take your time here for granted, and I definitely want to give you a moment to just check in with yourself. All right. I hope you've had a moment to check in with yourself. I want to share a few strategies with you. So, back in the day, just a few years ago, when I was in the classroom and during test taking season, I do recall earlier in my career where I would feel like proctoring was such a waste of my time, right? That I was sitting there. Oh, and it's so hard to be out of the routine of always being on, right? So during these days, you're sitting there, and early in my career, I would sit there and just wonder, like, what else could I be doing? Well, I finally figured it out. Okay. What I can be doing with my time includes checking in with myself, checking in with how teaching and learning is going, and planning for the future because the show will go on after the test taking season, right? We do still have some lessons to complete, some curriculum to get through, and we also want to make sure we send our students off thinking about the future, right? Thinking about that next grade that they're going into. But I'll talk about that a little more in a future video. For this video, let's start with reflecting. Now, if you're an early career teacher, it's really important that you pause and pat yourself on the back because you have made it this far. And that is no easy feat. There are colleagues of ours who tapped out in November, understandably, but sadly so. And you're still standing strong. And so please take a moment to pat yourself on the back. We appreciate you. We are so grateful for you, and keep up the great work. Now, let's think about some of the other things, right, that we need to make sure we're reflecting on. Let's talk about some of those challenges, but with a mindset reframe, okay? Those challenges we could also think of as opportunities. And I like to bucket them in three categories, okay? I'm thinking of them as like a work in progress. So, what are your teaching and learning reflections that you identify are a work in progress? You have things that you can immediately tackle because they are going to help you get through the rest of the school year strong. There are those things that you might want to put on the burner and address them over the summer. And then there are those things that are on your wish list. So let me give you an example. So, for example, something that you might want to tackle right now might have to do with your classroom culture, or maybe you want to tighten up some routines. Something that you might think of working on over the summer might include a new strategy for student engagement or differentiation. And a side note, if there is something that you want to circle back to over the summer, I implore you, put it in your calendar right now. So go into your Google Calendar and some late date in the over the summer, maybe late July, early August, right? Select a date and put a reminder in there for yourself of what it is that you want to revisit. And a note at the bottom, scroll down to the bottom of that Google Calendar, right? Scroll down and put a note as to why it is you want to revisit this new strategy, okay? The third part of the category is something that's on your wish list. So something on your wish list might be, maybe you're thinking about doing some more project-based learning, but you're not quite ready, especially if you're an early career teacher. Maybe you were not quite ready to think about project-based learning, or even if you're a veteran teacher, maybe there's a field trip that you know will enhance one of your units, but you're not quite sure that this upcoming school year is the right time for it. So it's on your wish list. Okay, you got that? 3 categories. What can I tackle now? What will I tackle over the summer? And I'm going to give myself a note in my calendar. And then what's on my wish list, something that I will circle back to at a future date because I'm not quite ready to put any time and energy into it. But speaking of being ready, are you ready for coaching? Because this summer, the Academy is launching a 1-year residency for classroom teachers to help us tighten up our classroom instruction. We are talking about the mindset shifts as well as the instructional practices that we need to work on in order to ensure that all of our students are receiving a high quality classroom learning experience and to make sure that we can do that sustainably and with joy. Because burning out is really not an option. I know that there are a lot of people talking about leaving the teaching field, understandably so. Some of our classrooms and school environments are a bit toxic. Some of our entire districts are a bit toxic, and you definitely have to do what's in your best interest. I also think about our students, right? I stepped out of the classroom because I wanted to have a greater reach. I wanted to make sure that if there's a classroom teacher who's not getting the coaching that they need in order to thrive, that I could be that person from a virtual space. So yeah, in the link, you're going to see 2 things. You have a link to the waiting list for the August launch of our 1-year residency. And then there's also a free download that will help guide you through those reflection questions that I just shared on this video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, if you stayed all the way to the end, I assume that you found value in what it is I shared with you. And I would love if you would like, share, and comment. Comment in the comment section on which one of those strategies are you thinking about implementing during the proctoring of these high stakes testing days. And are there other things that you're doing during proctoring to help maximize that time so it doesn't feel wasted? All right, so share this video with a hardworking teacher friend of yours, comment in the comment section, and please turn on the notification bell because more videos are coming out and I want to make sure that you get a notification and don't miss the latest video. Well, that's all for now. Super teachers, have a wonderful rest of your week, day, year, whatever it is that wherever it is you are. How is that it always happens? Why is it that it's always that when I get to the end of my video, I stop fumbling and mumbling? But it's okay. You get me. You're still here with me. Please have an amazing rest of your whatever. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.